Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
We are going to chat about this generational attitude that I have and generational attitudes in general towards parenting. And, now that we are kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, or have our foot on the other side of the gap, as Terry would say, or
yes.
Catherine.
Whoever typed the script this week would say.
Whoever typed the script this week. We can kind of speak with a little bit of authority and expertise and share our wisdom and our advice. And
Kids today with their bad parenting ideas and their selfies and their Instagram photos of their babies.
I know.
Not like when we were parents and you had to go to this drugstore and get the photo printed out on paper and take it to people. Go to their houses and show them pictures or your actual baby. Kids today, they got it so easy.
They have no idea.
Yeah, you know what? Every generation feels like things were better or harder or more real in their day. And kids today don't understand. They do such stupid things. Nicole found this article, the slideshow on topics.com. Yeah. You know how I feel about snarking against parents. I have to just I need to get a soundbite of me saying, every parent and child and family is different. We should not judge each other. I'm just going to hit a button every time we do one of these topics because I'm tired of saying it. But, certainly it's easy. It's easy and it's fun to sit as the disapproving elder and look at the way younger people do things. I don't have that much of an appetite for it, but I wanted to, I thought it was worth discussing and seeing, how do you do this when our kids are mostly grown and we're looking at people just starting out? Do you revel in your ability to snark at them? Do you feel, which is clearly how Nicole feels, do you hold back, as I tend to do? Or do you do some mixture of the two? Catherine, what is your attitude on this? Are you seeing young parents out in the wild and going, look at that? I'm going to go tell my friends on Facebook about that. We're going to have such a chat on our messenger. Wait till I tell Nicole and Terry what I saw.
Right. Yeah, I like to think I don't, but... I think it is a natural tendency.
It's kind of irresistible.
It is kind of irresistible to be like, these people don't know what they're doing, and I do.
Yes. That's the piece of the puzzle I think I have a problem with. Because I'm not feeling like an expert lately. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can we roll back and can I do it that way? That looks good.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like an expert in much of anything. But, when you see, I don't know, some of this sort of extreme babyproofing things that are available, and I just think, how about, teach the kid not to do that, or, that kind of thing, which, it doesn't work for every kid.
My son walked into so many things when he was little. Right. He opened doors into his face.
Yeah. But you would have had to have just a full on,
we would have had
bubble wrap suit in order
and then he would have found a way to hurt himself with that, pretty much, for sure. He would have swallowed I thank goodness for all the people who did not judge me, or at least judged me quietly behind my back, and did not call Child Protective Services when he showed up with some new gash on his face,
right,
from getting kicked by somebody on a swing.
There's certainly I had my son pull down a full chest of drawers onto himself by climbing up it. And
didn't have a race to the wall, did you?
Did not, but soon did after that happened. So, things happen. And I can't think of a good example of some of the ones that seem I don't know, like knee pads for crawling babies or something that, like, you know,
gosh.
My son used to get splinters in his knees on the deck from crawling.
Right, but did you put knee pads on them, or were you
If they had been available to me and somebody had suggested them, I might have. I don't remember what I did.
An argument here, Catherine.
I got pretty tired of pulling splinters out of his knees.
Yeah, that's not
Pants, I guess. Perhaps we used
exactly.
pants.
How about just pants?
In summer in New Jersey. Here.
Right.
Yeah.
I might have put socks around his knees.
But I think, but in general, I agree with what Catherine is saying. Like, if you look at sort of the average, in general, kind of parent today, there's a lot of extreme things going on. I don't know. Would you say?
Such as? Share a few.
Okay, I'm going to share something that is really
Snark, and then I will judge you.
I'm not sure you have anything to judge me about this one.
We'll see.
Okay. And this was actually in the article I read, which kind of got me going because I had been like, grumbling about it beforehand. And that's these baby reveal announcements that are plastered all over Facebook and Instagram. And I just feel so like, first of all, why the need for that? I don't know, the extra attention, I guess. Is that really bad to say that?
Mm-hmm.
But
well, is it really bad to want it? I mean, I don't know. It's a fun time in your life. You don't want to.
It is, but
I represent the laissez-faire side of our team here. What does it hurt?
Okay, but the effort and the extreme ways that people go to revealing the boy or girl, I don't know, I just feel like it's really kind of like me. It's not really about the baby.
Okay. Let me ask a question. Did you promote or support your son in doing a promposal?
He planned it on his own. I wasn't that fussed about it.
It seems like it's the same genre as that instead of doing a simple thing, we make a party out of it, or a big thing that we can film and put on social media.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's about me. That's my issue.
Do they put like pictures of the birth? Like video? Is anybody doing that?
There's everything.
That I would have a problem with. Nobody wants to see that. I don't know.
And stomachs and tummies, pregnant tummies, and I don't know. I just and professional photos for the baby reveal, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really extreme. It's as my daughter would say, it's really extra. It's a little bit too much.
Well, it kind of sets you on a path, right? Where, okay, so you got to do the gender. First, you have to do the announcement that you're having a baby. Then you got to do the gender reveal thing. Then you got to do, the baby's born announcement. Then you got to do photos every month and a big birthday party, and
Oh, that's right. The first birthday smash the cake party or cake smash party. Right. And then, but then in the first year of life, it's every month.
Photos.
On the blanket or something to show the growth or, yeah. I don't know. Don't you feel like it's kind of a bit much?
Let the kids have their fun. That's way.
The kids, as in the parents of the baby.
The parents. I call them kids now from my elderly point of view. Oh, does it hurt? Let the kids have their fun.
I don't know. It's like the Pinterest of parenting. You just can't ever, you just feel so inadequate all the time when you look at those pictures.
I feel like there must have been an equivalent, though, when we were young parents, and the generations before us must have had an equivalent. Humans will always try to make other humans feel less spectacular than them. Isn't that just sort of a way?
I think basically it was, do you use cloth diapers or not?
Yeah. There's always judgy and always people who did everything just so, and you felt like, I can barely scrape myself out of bed in the morning. This child cries all night. How is this person doing everything so beautifully and perfect? Mm-hmm. Used to be you would see them at church, or you would see them around the community, or your mother-in-law would say, well, so-and-so seems to be having a grand time. Mm-hmm. Now you see it on social media.
Every day.
Well,
every day.
Mute them. Mute them.
Sigh. Wait till my kids.
Soon enough, their kids will be in school and they will be completely overwhelmed by things and they will shut up. But for now...
Are you saying let them have their fun?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Not that it's not annoying, but you don't have to look.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, like you don't have to share everything.
You used to have to look if they're at church or in the community. But now you can just put them on...
It's annoying.
If they're on Facebook, what is it that you don't see them in your timeline?
Yeah, you can mute them.
Yeah.
Mute them. I
don't know.
Block them on Twitter. I mean, certainly talk about them behind their back in private.
Of course.
All you want. But let them have their fun.
Or on your podcast, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of I feel like that there's a lot of extra stuff going on these days, just for show or to make it look like parenting is so easy and look at me, I'm a wonderful parent.
But see, do you think those things make parenting look more easy, or do you think it makes it look like an unending requirement for creativity that seems intimidating?
Well, I think it makes it look like those people have somehow mastered that.
Yes.
And how are they doing it? And you can't.
Make a little note to check back with them in 12 years.
I think that's the thing. And you see it every day. It's on your news feed. It's in your, it's
clearly
everywhere.
I clearly have underwhelming young parents in my eyes. My nephew and his wife occasionally post adorable pictures of their daughter, but I haven't seen anything like that. No, she's little. I mean, she's like, gosh, I'm such a bad aunt. I'm a terrible aunt. I think she's maybe 5, but she's been growing up nicely. I've enjoyed the pictures that I've seen, but it hasn't been over the top. Who else do I know who's had babies? I don't think I haven't. I know some people. I follow some people on Facebook who have babies, and I don't think there's been anything of that nature. So perhaps you people are just following exhibitionists.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and especially my son, his friends are getting to the age where they're starting to take life a little bit more seriously. So, yeah, I think maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just inundated with it. But I'm feeling very, I don't know what it is. I just couldn't do it I just don't know how they do it.
Yeah. I skipped all that baby stuff, so I had a very nice adoption shower, but that was about it. Then social media didn't exist then, so.
Well, no.
I was so completely overwhelmed that we weren't showing off anything for anyone other than just crying on the shoulder of people on adoption support groups. I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Now what?
Right.
Well, I think we were all feeling that way when we had our babies that just kind of showed up.
Maybe these young kids are too. And I often feel for myself that I often drown myself in work, not only because I need the money, but also because I'm good at work. The parenting stuff, oftentimes, not so good at. So maybe there are people who've been doing social media their whole lives. They don't know how to raise this kid, but they know how to put together something cool on Instagram, man. That they can do. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe they're like, I can't handle this. I'm going to go and spend 3 hours putting something nice on Facebook. I'm going to go blog about this, honey. You take care of the kid. That I can completely understand. Perhaps that's what's going on. It's denial of the reality.
And whereas when my kids were growing up and were young, maybe I have a deeper resentment. As I think this through, this is like therapy. So when my kids were younger, my husband traveled all the time.
Yeah.
So I was, I wasn't a single mom, but I was close to being, on my own a lot. Parenting, raising these kids. So was and working full time and, dropping them off at daycare at 6 a.m. and feeling super guilty about it. So, yeah, those photo albums and those scrapbook albums and those, homemade lunches and handmade Halloween costumes did not exist in our world.
And did you feel like the people who trumpeted that were judging you?
Of course.
So now, when these young kids are doing all this stuff, maybe you're getting a little bit of that vibe. So you're going to give it back to them since you're an old lady now and can shake your cane in their direction.
And I'm like, you have no idea what you're in for.
Back in my day.
I know what you're up to. It's fake.
Punks. They're all punks.
It is fake news.
Well, Catherine, you also saw an article that was something about that kids are postponing typical adult stuff like driving and drinking and dating. Do we think this is related in any way or makes it more difficult for parents or less difficult? You know, drinking is one of those things. Perhaps that's okay, honey. You don't need to get that adult milestone. Maybe when you're 40, I'll buy you a beer. But
well, I think that's one of those things where, you know, a generation could, an older generation can say, why aren't these kids more independent? Why aren't they driving? Why aren't they getting jobs in high school? And sort of blaming it on helicopter parenting when really there's a lot of societal stuff that's going on that makes it way more challenging than it may have once been.
Yeah, I mean, and certainly alcohol is a problem amongst youth now too. We hear on college campuses a lot and stuff like that. But the fact that, I mean, I wonder whether 12 years of anti-drug programs in the auditorium of your school and the crashed car prom thing has any long-term discouraging effect. Kids may just feel, you know what, that doesn't sound like it's worth the trouble. My kids are 24 and 27 and neither of them drink. My daughter is completely disinterested and my son every now and then says, can I? And I say, well, if you want to, do it first with us so we know how it affects you. Don't go out and do it with friends. And he has fetal alcohol syndrome, so he really shouldn't. But, you know, the worst thing to do is say never, no, you know, so.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. But I certainly would rather him try it around me so we can see how it affects him rather than out with strangers or friends. So that's a constant worry. But neither of them is, you know, challenging me on it particularly at all. And my husband and I don't drink, so we have no alcohol in the house. So it's not like it's something they've seen. But, and my son loves cars, loves keys, no interest in driving. And he has a friend who, actually none of his friends drive. So I think there's something to it. And I also think in terms of independence, it's really hard these days. My kids can't get full-time jobs. Now, they both have special needs, but still, it's difficult out there. You know, my husband had trouble getting a job. I've had trouble finding anything that was full-time. It's not as easy, I think, as when we were younger.
Right.
And so if you can't, I mean, I've had people tell my daughter she should move out. It's like, what is she going to, she works 12 hours a week. How is she going to move out? What apartment is she going to be able to afford? How many people is she going to have to share it with? And, you know, and she, you know, she could, if she could buy a car, she can't afford insurance for a car. She can't afford maintenance. She can't afford gas. So I don't think that this is unique to kids with disabilities. I think a lot of kids in this age group are just caught with no particular way to be independent. So, it's, you know, I feel for them and will not make fun of them when they put their babies' pictures on. But if they're still living at home, they're not dating, they're not driving, they're not drinking. So maybe no babies. I don't know.
And in the original slideshow that prompted this whole thing, I mean, I felt like there was a lot of judgment about, you know, young adults and how they live their life. Yes. And so this other piece that, you know, showed research that showed that, you know, kids are doing these things that are traditional markers of adulthood, that they're doing them later. Yeah. You know, I think it makes sense. And there's a lot of reasons behind it. And the reasons are not, you know, because their parents kept them sheltered. Yes. That's just not the case. So I don't think the parents should be judged for that.
My mom was a total helicopter mom, and I couldn't get away fast enough. But I had much better resources for doing that. You know, I got a job right away, and I got, you know, I had money in the bank from working in high school and all of this. So,
see, I beg to differ once again. I'm seeing a different age group of kids, and had a conversation recently with a mom, and most of the kids my daughter's age, not most of them, let's say maybe half of them, are getting their driver's license. And so this parent I was speaking to was talking about how her child has no interest in getting a license or driving. And she's fine with that because she knows where he is during the day and at night. And she's content to pick him up in the school parking lot and drop him off. And, that works for them. And she's happy about that he's not interested. And she's fine with doing the pickups and the drop-offs. And so it just makes me wonder, like, I don't know, what really? Do we not want to encourage our kids to be more independent in that sense? I don't know. That's how. I wonder how many other parents are doing that, though. Like, not necessarily holding their child back, but not encouraging them to meet certain milestones.
Yeah. It's maybe an extension of overprotective parenting of younger kids, in just that the feeling is that it's such a dangerous world out there. You know, you pick up the newspaper and you read about car accidents and you read about, rapes, and you read about all this stuff that can happen out in the big wide world for young adults. And you think, well, you know what? My kid's home watching TV at night and not going out and not driving and not doing any of these things. That'll be okay for another 10 years. And let's bring back arranged marriage. You know what? The parents just get together. I've always said that I bet there are young men sitting home in their mother's house watching TV on a Saturday night. Why can't our two kids just, come over to one of the other's house and watch TV on the same sofa? They don't have to go out to a club. They don't have to go out drinking. They don't have to go out driving.
But do you need to be in the same room as them, or are you going to let them be alone?
I would not be in the same room. I would be peeking from the hallway, but I would not be in the same room. I might possibly leave my phone out with the FaceTime on. I don't know. Things happen. You forget it. Well, fortunately, my house, there's really no place you can have complete privacy because the acoustics are such that you can hear people talking everywhere. So I could totally hang out in my room with the door open and listen. But
well, I don't know.
I am unabashedly and unashamedly a helicopter parent. I go up to my son every now and then and go thump 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 thump, just to let him know. So,
just to remind him.
Just to remind him.
And you're proud.
I'm proud. I'm not ashamed.
Helicopter and proud.